So I've been asked to play it a bit safe for this session, so I will. I am partially blind, and I must say, you guys are beautiful. Um, stunning, in fact, stunning. It's lovely. I am from Bangalore, and it's always, coming from the south, everyone warns you, you're going to Delhi, be careful. It's like, it's perfectly fine. I love this place. I think it's great. But what's interesting, I do stand-up comedy, and people call me for talks, right? All these college students call me for talks, and they're like, Mr. Rao, please come over to our college and inspire us. Please inspire us. I'm like, listen, man, how about you work a bit harder, develop your own disability, and inspire yourself? Honestly, I'm a bit sick of this inspiration nonsense. And they're like, no, sir, we'll pay you. I'm like, chal, I'll inspire you. It's great being disabled, right? Because the best part about being disabled is people think I'm a nice guy just because I can't see. And it's fantastic. I get away with so much rubbish. But I am really disabled in multiple ways. I'm Kannadiga, I'm Brahmin, and I'm blind, so I'm screwed. I'm screwed. I like being honest in my comedy. I mean, because nowadays everyone expects you to do like jokes about Trump or Rahul Gandhi, and it's fine. I think to each person their own. But there's a lot of interesting spaces to like, because people, when they think of comedy, is a very interesting thing. Like, I'll give you an example. I was invited last year to perform at the festival in Malaysia. It was a very interesting experience for me. And I told my family, I mean, my Brahmin family, I said, I've been invited to Malaysia to do an international comedy festival as one of the first few Indians to go there. And their first response was like, oh, Sundeep, be careful, Muslim country. I'm like, hey, they're not going to convert me the moment I get there. Just relax, right? But the interesting part happened when I went to immigration. The Malaysian Prime Minister's office sent the visa, and I went to the immigration counter. And needless to say, I didn't go for the festival. It wasn't because the Malaysian government rejected me. I just got rejected by the Indian immigration, which was interesting. Because when I landed up the counter, the immigration officer, started asking these questions. And when government officials in India ask you questions, you might be the most intellectual person, but you start answering. You start answering right away. And he starts asking questions. He's like, why are you going? I said, going for work. He said, what do you do for work? I said, comedy. He's like, what is comedy? Because in India, if you're disabled and you're doing comedy, you're a clown. That's pretty much, you're a freak show. Like, there's a midget juggling and there's a blind guy doing jokes. That's sort of the standard where I stand at, right? So I felt at that point that I should answer this man to represent the art form which I love doing. So I said, sir, comedy, for me, is an intellectual representation of a social observation presented in a dramatic manner by a human being to provoke laughter. Jokes, I said, jokes. That's and they ask you questions, right? They continue to ask you questions. He's like, where are you going? Are you going to go to Malaysia? He's going to Malaysia on work. I said, great. He said, are you single? I said, yes, I'm single. He said, are you a virgin? I said, no, AirAsia. And he just continued asking these questions. Now, the reason... I wasn't that witty at that point. I made all this up after. Don't worry about it. And then I realized that I didn't get a chance to go for this festival because I had this stamp on my passport called the ECR stamp, which is given to illiterate people and sixth standard fails and laborers. And I realized I was put in this line with laborers, especially going to Muslim countries because they want to be careful. And I was being judged. Now, every auntie and uncle walking past me are seeing with these laborers going, this guy is blind and he's illiterate. He's really screwed. So that's where it sort of stands. It's funny doing this job. But you can get away with things in India being disabled because I like the fact that I think we as people should be more sensitive than politically correct because America's taking political correctness to another level, which is annoying. But it's being sensitive is fun, right? Because being in India, I love the sensitivity of many people that you can do things there and get away with it. Like I drove in India for 5 years. I did. I did. They just... At this point, we didn't have Ola or Uber. They just thought I was a crazy man on the road. No, but it's good because now it's the online era, right? You have all these new things. Because growing up, I went on a few blind dates. Not in... Oh, come on. I mean, the idea of a blind date is that you see your date once you get to the date. Not once you go back home and wonder what she looks like, right? That's a completely wrong concept. Because I used to go for these blind dates, sit down and be like, I think this is going wrong because there's a family of 4 in front of me. Like, why are the kids here now? It should be later, right? But now, of course, youngsters have Tinder, dating app for Tinder. I recently discovered a dating app for disabled people. It's great. It's called Hinder. It's Just keep swiping, just keep swiping. Just can never get it. uh, no, but life's full of problems, and I just think making fun of problems is great because recently I got diagnosed with a wife. That sort of that sort of helps. That's great. No, I love my wife. I think she loves me. It's just that she changed. She changed after we got married, right? Because she was my girlfriend for 5 years, and she just changed overnight as my wife. It was terrifying, right? Because when she was my girlfriend, we were doing 5 years of long distance. 5 years long distance. She was in New York. I was happy, and no, I lie. I lie when I say that. She was very happy as well. So I don't know what she did over there. It's great having a blind boyfriend. She can do whatever she wants. Like, I'm being faithful. I'm like, great, I think so. Nah, she's faithful. I mean, it's great because I know my wife can't leave me. I know she'll never leave me because she'll be the really bad person in society, right? Then, right? I can do anything and get away with it. And the whole family's like, what, you left a blind guy? You're a real pain in the ass. As I said, people think I'm a nice guy. No, but my wife does, she does find ways to get back at me because I can play the disabled card to get back at her. But she does things to get back at me because we moved into our own place recently and she wanted to decorate the bathroom, which, is pointless in my opinion, but she's like, I want to decorate the bathroom, make it look aesthetically appealing. I'm like, you can put whatever you're smoking in there. It's great, right? And she decorated, she wanted to put plants in there. I said, great. So my beautiful wife who loves me supposedly put cactus right next to the hairdryer. Sweet, right? It's very sweet. But my wife does mess with my head, She doesn't like me using strong language, but here's the problem I find. She doesn't consistently get angry with me using strong language. I had a bad show last week. I came back home. I was really upset, so I started yelling. I had a bad temper. I started using foul language. She was okay with it. But last week, the day after, we were in the car, and a guy on a bike cut us off in traffic. And all I said is, what a prick. She lost it. Sundeep, that is a horrible way to look at life. You have a foul mouth, you have a foul sense of temper, you're a foul human being, I'm done with you, I'm done with me, I'm done with us. She slammed the door and she walked out. And all I could think at that point is, who the hell is going to drive now? Trust me, these jokes are a lot funnier after a few drinks. Trust me. Usually not doesn't go with coffee and tea, but it's fun. It's so my wife is in the space of fashion. I like to talk because so I think I know a little bit of fashion. I don't claim to know much about fashion, but I really feel like India is being ruined by this epidemic called Zara and H&M and these brands which sort of spoil the concept of fashion. Because my wife's into this movement called slow fashion, and supposedly it's ethical fashion. I feel though, I really have to say this. It's something I have to get off my chest. I think Indian women are some of the prettiest women in the world. Not because I'm partially blind, I just felt I had to say this. It's a genuine. No, but I feel there's a certain space where I see younger women. I'm in my 30s, I'm 34. I see the young 21-year-old ladies. They sort of go for this Zara and for this H&M, and every week there's a new trend. And it's perfectly fine. I just feel certain Western brands, I think with great fashion comes great responsibility, right? Because I feel certain people think that just because they wear a Western dress, they can abuse the English language. Which is because the problem I have is you can't dress up like Kate Winslet and sound like Rakhi Sawant. It's just a bit terrifying because I can't see women. I only go by what they sound like, right? And for me, it's all about the audio input, right? Because the other day, a lovely lady comes up to me. I think she was lovely. And she comes up to me in a little black dress, and she's like, hi, somebody said to me, you're a comedian. I'm like, hi. I just feel it's a bit terrifying, right? I just feel there should be a basic rule of fashion that says, ladies, if your clothes cost more than your education, please shut the hell up, right? Just a basic. I can do these jokes. I'm disabled. Relax. It's no, but people do. It's a terrifying time in the world, right? It's a terrifying time. I think fashion is something which is important, but we have the bigger epidemic called Trump, and a lot of people from my family abroad in the US, they live there. They're like, Sundeep, you should talk about Trump. Trump's a problem. I'm like, he's a problem for you. I live in India. I'm pretty happy here. But I did realize, ladies and gentlemen, Trump is a problem for us. Because we have all these cousins and brothers and sisters and friends who are living over there on an H-1B visa going, Trump is going to cancel our visas. Trump might send us back. We might have to go back to India. All of us are sitting over here going, oh crap, they might come back to India. It's a problem. These cousins of ours who weren't very cool are coming back with these inflated egos, false sense of achievement, and a fake accent. They're coming back. They're coming back and they want to change India through these two things they have, strategies and startups. They're going to change. It's crazy, right? These cousins are so arrogant. They come back, they're like, hey, man, back in California, man, we had adventure sports like skydiving, bungee jumping. Do you have skydiving and bungee jumping and adventure sports in India? I'm like, yeah, bastard, cross the road. That's adventure sports. No, it's crazy. These people come back. The movement has begun, right? They want to change India through strategies and startups, and they have it for everything, right? Like eradicate poverty, it's a strategy. Take out the illiteracy problem, strategy. It's crazy. And to celebrate these things, they go cycling. Cute. It's very cute. Indians from America coming here going cycling. What they don't realize is back in America, cycling is it's an alternative movement to protect the environment. In India, it's still a mode of transportation. So when these people come back and go cycling, all they're doing is confusing the hell out of the common man. The guy's going, wait, you're buying a cycle, putting it on a car, going to the hills, then cycling. What's the point of this nonsense? It's ridiculous. They do this, right? On Sunday mornings, they have their Facebook groups where they go cycling. Like they buy their equipment from shops like bum on a saddle, wife on the handlebar, testicles on the pedal. Like, what are these shops? And they go cycling, right? Sunday morning, 30 of them, Save India, Make it India, Swachh Bharat. Even the milkman's confused. He's like, bro, if you're going cycling so far, deliver the milk also. What am I here for? It's terrifying. But you see these crazy people on social media. I'm a big fan of animals. I'm a dog. I love dogs. But there's a problem I find where there are few people who just adopt pets so they get more likes on Instagram, and that should stop, right? And these people who do this thing, right, they put up posts going, today I adopted my dog from like a shelter where they were like abusing her with like cosmetic care. I've rescued her and I'm gonna like take care of her. Her name, I've named her L'Oreal. I'm like, what? That's like rescuing a Jew from Israel and calling him Adolf. That does not work. It's terrifying. But we do have this, right? We do have these animal owners. I love rich dogs. I love rich dogs because rich dogs walk around the streets just like the character from the Game of Thrones, right? With their little dog tags. They go up to like stray dogs going, I am Tinkerbell, daughter of Jingle Bell, mother to Crystal Bell, saint of Bernard and mother to puppies, and I shall have my biscuit. Woof, woof. And the stray dog's like, Mera naam hai Rambo. What is your problem? But I love rich dogs because rich dogs have caretakers, right? Rich dogs have caretakers. And what's funny about that is the rich dog has a birth certificate. And that's really interesting. No, but I think the biggest problem I will talk about, the biggest problem I think is that we do have this big epidemic in India, which is a real problem. They call the foodies. Right? It's great eating food, and I eat food. But the problem is when you ask a foodie what they ate for lunch or for breakfast or for dinner, they never say food. It's always these supposed French-sounding, lispy, 30-minute conversations where they're like, oh, for lunch today I had a bit followed by some and some dessert. Like, okay. And what I don't get is when a person tweets about food, talks about food, tells people what they ate, when they ate, with whom they ate, when they're going to go back, with whom they're going to go back, what they're going to eat the next time, we call them a foodie. I do the same thing with alcohol. They send me to rehab. That's not cool. But we do have in our country this thing of naming all the addictions with that IE sound at the end, right? Like addiction with food, addiction with yourself, addiction with food, foodie, addiction with yourself, selfie, addiction with assholes, roadie, addiction with progress, Modi. I don't know what's going on. I'm Brahman. I'm safe to do these jokes. Thank you very much. That's been my time. Thank you.